Hello, Professor Toybox here, along with Buzz Lightyear, and we're back in my Disneyland toy box, where we're going to build the entrance to Tomorrowland. But first, I need to fix the railing over here. And a few videos ago, I wasn't quite sure how to get this to go in here, but basically this railing piece here needs to sit in here like this. And of course the red bounding box makes that a problem, and that was throwing me off. And the reason is because I have these two pieces here and here backwards. And I'm going to go ahead and move this piece first. So you'll notice the little blue box there is on the right hand side. I'm going to flip this around to put that bounding box on the left. And doing that means that I can now flip this one around, and it's not going to collide with the bounding box on that other one on the left. And now, because the bounding box for this one is facing now away from the screen, now I can bring this piece over, and you'll notice I can slide it right in here and it'll overlap. And that's what I had in my original toy box. And so that's what I need here. And now that lets us move this railing here into the position where I needed it. Because right next to that, I need to sit down another piece of terrain, one of the customizable plants. This one. And that's got to sit right in here like this. And I think, yeah, I had it like that. And just let me double check, yeah. Nope, sorry. That actually sits down here like this. Okay, so now that can sit in there and there's no collision with that other plant. And for this one, again, we're going to use the City Park corner. And I'll apply that, and there we go. So now that gets that corner to what I needed it to be. And that sets us up now for Tomorrowland, which is going to be off over this way. And once again, I'm going to need a little extra terrain for this. So we're going to take this large terrain block here, and I'm going to drop this down right in here, just like that. And I want to flip this around to try to line up the textures there with the block next to it, and I think that's the closest we can get. So just like that, and then I'm going to pick up this long flat terrain block and we'll put this over here. Oop. Just like that. And that'll put in the nice finishing edge for the water there. So there we go. That's the last terrain block for this toy box. Now the next thing we'll do is let's go ahead and frame in the entrance, and we'll start with these buildings over here. And so I'm gonna, let's just come up to, I was gonna pick it up, but we can just come up to Building Sets Group 3. And what I'm interested in here is the brick. I'm not interested really in this side of the thing because this is going to be covered up by a little garden area. So what I really want is to have that brick there like that. And so we're going to put one down like this and put the other one in so that the two front faces are covered up. And that does use a little extra memory because of this piece having all of that decoration. But I like the brick on this versus the brick on that. To me, that just doesn't look quite as nice, but it's just a personal preference. And now for this one, we're going to move this one offset half a block, like that. And I'll put down two of those like that. And there's that side. Okay, next thing we'll do, we're going to need a little grassy area here. And so I'm going to come down to the blocks drawer and we're going to use the large floor. And I'm going to put one of these down right in the corner like that. And we'll style this to use the grass texture, and I'm going to set that to be my theme. And we'll put those in like that, and we'll put another 3 over on this side. Just like that. Okay, I like the looks of that. All right, back to the blocks drawer, or to the plants drawer rather, sorry. And we're going to pick up Fantasy Terrain Corner 1. And I'm going to set this right in here in this corner, like this. And we're going to put another one over here. And we're going to do the same thing over on the other side. And I'll style these in a moment. If I style these too early, then the bounding boxes on these aren't going to line up right. And we're going to put this Fantasy Terrain one in here like this. And in there like that. And now that frames in the entrance to Tomorrowland. And I'm going to come out of the editor. And for these pieces, we need the Tomorrowland power discs. And so I'm going to put down my Tomorrowland Futurescape disc on my base. And I do not want to switch my whole world to that theme. But that will unlock a plant texture that I need. And so we're going to come over to these first. And I'm going to style it. And the piece that I need is this Tomorrowland Terrain Corner 2. And I'm going to apply that. And that changes it to that nice little watery theme. And we'll do that for the other 3 blocks here. And then for this piece, again, the Tomorrowland Terrain 1. That changes it to an interesting little railing piece there that I like. There. So you can see each of the different lands kind of has a different look. That one has a tropical look. That one's got the western look. That's got the fantasy look with the castle. This one has the futuristic look. And so that tells you at a glance what each land is without having to see a sign that says that. And so I like that. Okay, so we got the edging in for that. Now when you have the Tomorrowland power discs, that's going to unlock some new things up in Building Sets Group 2. A whole new set of Tomorrowland buildings. And the piece that I want for right now is this Skyscraper Middle 4. And I'm going to use this for the monorail. And we're going to place this right here, just like that. And another one behind it. And this one out here like this. And another one behind that. And I think, yeah, it's going to be over a little too far. Let's go ahead and do that anyway. I think I'd rather have it sitting behind the edge of that plant here, the edge of this fountain, rather than sticking out. And actually we did the same over there, so that's perfect. So there's the supports for the monorail. And I wish I had the memory to actually build a monorail that moved along, but I don't. Okay, in the blocks drawer, we're going to go left a few pieces to this trim piece. And we're going to take this and line it up with the middle of that block like that, and then all the way over here. And we'll go ahead and style this. And for this, we'll go left. And I'm going to pick up this plastic 2 as my theme. I'll set that to be my theme. And the white for that matches the other, so that looks pretty good. And then we're just going to build this straight across. That creates a little bridge of sorts for the monorail to go over the walkway there as you enter Tomorrowland. And we'll put another set of these on the back side. And there's the monorail entrance, over the entrance. Okay. Now, I'm not actually going to build this today, but we're going to put in the foundation here for the Astro Orbiter ride. And so I'm going to come up to Building Sets Group 5, and I've got this Droid Factory Pillar number 7. And we're going to line this up right in the middle, both that direction and that direction. I'm going to set this on the ground, and that's going to be the tower for the Astro Orbiter ride. And we'll place that in there like that. And then for a little decoration on top, we'll come back to the Tomorrowland buildings, and I'll just throw this little skyscraper top on top of that. And it doesn't look quite like the actual Astro Orbiter ride, but it's about the closest I can get with the pieces I've got. Main thing is it's just a tower that the spaceships can circle. And we're going to need a couple of stairs to be able to board the ride. And so I'm going to put these right over here. One like this. Yeah. And we'll put another one on the other side as well. And we'll build that in a future video, the actual ride. It's the only ride in this toy box. Okay, on the back side of this, just to show a preview of what's on the other side of the entrance, because when they walk under that monorail bridge, that's when we'll trigger the toy box door to take them to Tomorrowland. And so up under Building Sets Group 2, let's see, we're going to come over here and pick up this Tomorrowland Faceted Building number 1. And I'm going to place this, let's see, I'm going to do this about like that. So off the end of this building, like so. And I'm going to line it up kind of with the pillar there. So it's going to stick out on the right there a little further than the support for that monorail. And then we'll flip this around and put one on the other side in exactly the same position. And that kind of frames in the entrance. Gives you kind of a nice little view that there's something back there. So I like that. All right, now let's go ahead and put in some trees and frame the rest of this in. And for that, we're going to come back to the plants drawer. And we're going to use Fantasy Terrain 3. And we're going to put these in here. And I originally had 3 of these, one in the middle of each of these blocks. But I think I'm going to try to save a little bit of memory here. And we'll put in 2 of these and see how that looks. So we'll put one like this. We'll put one like that. And before I put the other ones in on the other side, let's go ahead and just style these and see how that looks. And that actually, yeah, that'll work. And then for this one, do the same thing. And I could actually space those out just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and, of course, the bounding box is expanded as soon as I changed the style. And so to be able to move these back, let's go ahead and put them back to what they were originally. I'm kind of thinking on the fly here, so I apologize for that. I could have just put 3 in here, but trying to save a little bit of memory. We're going to slide this one over just a tad, and I'll put this one over that way just a tad. And then we'll go ahead and style these again. So apply, I'm not setting that to be my theme, because that would cause problems when I put the ones down on the other side. There, that looks good. And with only 2 instead of 3, that saves a little memory. So we'll go ahead and do the exact same thing on this side. And I want to make sure I kind of line this up in the same position that one was in. We're going to put it right down here like this. And we'll rotate it like that. And then this one, I think, is lined up. Yeah. Like that. And we'll rotate that. There we are. It kind of adds a nice little park ambience there. And we're going to place one more tree on the opposite side of the monorail track. So right in here in this little cubby that I left. And we'll put one over here. We'll put one over here. And then we'll style those as well. And that fills in that little corner there, the gap between those buildings. And from this side, it just kind of makes it look like the trees and the buildings and everything continue past that monorail bridge. So I like that. And to frame in this side, let's go ahead and put a few more trees in over here. And for this one, just so we can use fewer trees, we're going to use this Fantasy Terrain Corner 2. And because this one spreads out to be a really wide tree. And so by using this, we can kind of get away with using fewer ones. And go like that. Try to put about that much space between them. Here we are. And you'll see as we style these that they get much bigger. And that will overlap the monorail bridge there. And so does this tree, by the way. And that's okay, because that monorail doesn't go anywhere anyway. So this kind of helps hide that fact. There we are. And now that end of the water is closed in. And now we got a nice border around those edges that I didn't have in the original toy box. So I like that. And by only using 2 trees here instead of 3 on either side, that gave me 2 trees over here that I could use instead. And so really the net memory is I've used 2 extra plants than I had before. So that worked out pretty good. All right, a couple little finishing touches here. I believe the piece that I want is going to be this Fantasy Terrain, 2. And I'm not sure exactly which way this goes, so I'm going to try it this way first. And I want to put this about like that. Yeah, about halfway along the width of there and right up next to it. And let's go ahead and style that and just see which way that goes. Because there's a little slope at the actual Tomorrowland at Disneyland. And it kind of looks a little bit like this. This is the closest piece we've got. And yeah, that's the right orientation. I'm going to set that to be my theme. We're going to put another one down on the opposite side, just like that. So now we have that kind of a slope. The one at Disneyland's much bigger, but that's the closest we've got, and it doesn't look too bad. All right, we're almost done for today. One more time, back up to the Main Street USA buildings, and we're going to go right. And once again, I'm looking for this Main Street floral lamp. We're going to put this right over here about like this. And I want to bring this out about like so, somewhere in there. That's probably good enough. And we're going to drop one on the same relative position over here, just like that. And that kind of corresponds with what's on the other side, although I'm not going to line these up exactly like they are over there and put them on the same corners, because this one might work, but this one would be sitting right here in the middle of the walkway going into Adventureland, so that wouldn't work too good. So that's it for the entrance to Tomorrowland, and that means the hub is done. Next week I'll add the finishing touches for this toy box, and then the build exercise will be finished, and we can move on to the logic for the games and activities. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel or follow me on my blog if you haven't already done that, so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you for watching, and have a nice weekend.